Be curious, always be curious. And then find a solution that is something that you want to give. And that inquiry may have an impact today, it may have an impact in 50 days, it may have an impact in 500 days, it may have an impact in 100 years. So find that purpose, nurture your passion, learn the technology, learn the science, but also learn about what is the need to solve that is of something that is unknown, need to solve for somebody's care, need to solve for a future generation. So again, ideas are driven by purpose, they are nurtured by passion, and they are pursued boldly. And when that is done, then you can change the world. And you are a world changer. Believe in that.
So if I were to give one tip to a future scientist, I think is one thing that I had to learn on my own journey is you do not have to change who you are or how you look to be a scientist or an engineer. I used to think a scientist had to look a certain way, be a nerd, hide out in dark corners doing research, but no. Scientists, they look like me, they look like you, they look like all types of people. So it's best to just be yourself and use that energy you'd invest in hiding your true self. Put that into your brain power so you can solve all of these challenging problems we have out here.
Hi, I'm Dr. Cynthia McCullough, Professor of Medical Physics and Biomedical Engineering at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. I've got two pieces of advice that I would share. The first is to believe in yourself and the way that your mind works. You're not going to solve a problem the same way one of your colleagues or other graduate students does. You're going to need to pursue it the way that your mind takes you step by step. So whether you go derive the equations first or just go to the lab and start building or testing first, if it makes sense to you, follow your gut. I think you'll get to the right answer. And then second, let people around you know when you succeed. Get a paper published, get an award. It's not bragging. It is just sharing information that your mentors and your advisors want to know. They want to know how you're succeeding, and they're really busy people, so they may not hear about it unless you share it with them. Share the good news, and good luck to you.
Hi, I'm Professor Wong from Boston University. So you're interested in science and engineering? Well, that's fantastic, because we need all the talent we can get to solve the challenging problems, whether it's climate change or healthcare disparities. But unfortunately, it may not always be an easy road. You may doubt yourself. There's something called imposter syndrome, which is real. So what do? First, recognize that failure is a critical step on the way to success. Number two, ask for help. Go to office hours. Because the big secret is you don't know what you don't know. So the more that you can make opportunity to talk with advisors, mentors, and even near-peer mentors will be great. Third, you just make sure that you advocate for yourself, because only you know what you want and what you need. And one additional thing I would just say, make sure to have fun.
So I have a question for you. Do you dream? Do you dream of a future? Do you dream of new things? Do you dream about discovering something? Well, I think all of us are dreamers. I'm a dreamer, and I've been a dreamer since I was a child, always asking why. We are all made to create something, to inquire about it, to dream. Find out what is it that you're passionate about, and what do you feel that you are creating something beautiful. That something beautiful could be a science inquiry. Something beautiful could be a medical device. That something beautiful could be something that you are doing for society, for humanity, a policy that would allow them to be successful. Whatever it is, find your purpose. And when you have found your purpose, then pursue it boldly.
What I tell to any student who comes to my office thinking they want to do research, and I'll say, well, why do you want to do research? And they'll say, well, I want to learn about it, and that's great. And then I'll say, well, what do you want to do? We have many different projects. What would you like to get involved in? And the answer usually is, I don't know. And I'll say, okay, I'm going to list 10 things. Tell me when your heart rate goes up, and which of those 10 things your heart rate goes up. That means there's something about that. We don't know what it is at this point, it doesn't matter, but that means that you're either passionate about it or it resonates because of a personal issue. doesn't matter. But I think you have to start with something that gets you excited, you know. And if you don't know, go pick up a couple of journals and just thumb through them. You don't have to read them. Look at titles, look at images, and wherever you start to stop more than you just thumb, that's a good starting point, and then just go from there.
Science, especially in the area of biomedicine, is very young. It's a field that in some ways is only 100 years old. When we read textbooks or we learn about biology in high school or in college, it sort of feels like everything's known. And I think when you feel that way, you also respond by thinking that there's nothing I can do here to learn more or to make things better. What I would urge people to realize is that there's so much to do, because there are so many things that we don't know, and yet what's limiting us from knowing those things is not having enough creative people.
Mentoring is the most gratifying part of my job as a deputy director of this institute. I think it's very important for students to get mentors. Don't be deterred or discouraged that these are so-called big shot in the field, including the Nobel laureates. Don't be shy, go up and ask. In my own career, I found out those who are most successful in science, in their professions, are also likewise the most generous.
The message I would give people is just remember that it only takes a year or two of reading and thinking and learning to get to the cutting edge, to get to the edge where you know as much as everybody in the world currently knows. And after that point, you're now contributing.
Always strive for your dream job. Don't be modest, and be aggressive, be ambitious, aspire to the highest level. Even though you might want to say, oh, reality might not allow me to do this or that, but the whole idea is to dream big, dream higher than you ever thought you could. And if you didn't set that higher bar for yourself, you couldn't motivate yourself to get there.
I think this is an amazing time in science and engineering, and if you have any passion for science and engineering, jump in, because the tools, the opportunities to learn, the scales, you can look at from the angstrom level all the way up to the macroscopic level. I fully believe in the next 5 to 10 years we're going to transform the pharmaceutical industry based on tissue engineering and the approaches we're taking there. I truly believe in the next 10 to 20 years we'll be able to regenerate a human limb that we can't understand today because of the same kinds of tools. And I think we're going to transform medicine. And I think now's the time to get involved, because the opportunities are just boundless.